Hey there, friends. Hello, hello. Welcome to Transcendent Love again. Yeah, sometimes I really be, even though some of this stuff can really seem low key kind of dramatic, I really be having more dramatic things going on in my head that I actually don't even really be doing. So, and this is really mild manner compared to the things that be going on in there. Sometimes they come out. I let them go on and do their thing. Other times, I go on and keep it under wraps, keep it under wraps a little bit for the public. But today we in this thing. I just want to chit chat a little bit. I don't. Oh man, today I didn't write anything this time. This isn't from like previous downloads necessarily. It is and it isn't at the same time. It's something that Spirit has been speaking with me on and about, but not to the degree of me like writing things like I did in that last video. So as y'all can see, I got a little bit of a new position. I'm sitting a little bit, I say that, maybe y'all can tell. I'm sitting a little bit higher. That little, usually in the other videos, there is a seat that is behind me in most of the videos. So I'm actually sitting on it today. I figured a little different positioning, and I'll give the, I was gonna call it a magic circle. I'm gonna still call it a magic circle just because that's the thing that first came to mind. I do these recordings in my Zen room. So we're just gonna have call it a magic circle. And it's interesting that that would come because it's a part of what I want to talk about. Um, Earlier today, and it happens to me all the time. I just rarely like. It's so normal that it hardly even comes up as a thing to really just talk about. But I experience so many signs and so many synchronicities, which at this point, if you've been here for a little bit and you watch these videos, you know how I'm rocking for the most part. I'm just that girl. One might say weird, one might say open. Either way, does not matter what one might say. I am who I am. And that's a dope ass being. And I'm good with that. That won't change. It'll only keep getting better and more dope. Anyways, so I'm always asking, I try to stay in direct connection with my spirit guides and my higher self all day, every day. I want to always be open and available to be able to receive any messages that are wanting to come through, be it for me or be it for anybody else. It doesn't really make a difference. I just like to be able to hear intuitively, and I like to be able to take the guidance and the leading of my spirit guides. So I just live in this space. Um, I won't act like everything is always super clear because I want you to know that on your journey, when you're connecting and fine tuning your ability to decipher this voice within or these voices within and be able to take the guidance, that it's not like it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of, I'll say, practice, because we're not accustomed to listening to ourselves. So when it registers often as your own voice, it is sometimes difficult whenever you haven't been listening to yourself to decipher So there's that. That is why it's so important, and I stress this so much on this side, to love yourself and to trust yourself and to treat yourself well, because your inner guidance rides heavily on that. If you don't have this relationship built up with and within yourself, it makes it extremely difficult for you to see yourself as a divine being, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, you are a fractal of God, and God uses you, speaks through you, gives you guidance and all that you need for this life. So it's important that you can hear. It's important that you can be able to take those messages, um, often referred to as your right mind, as your first mind, as your gut feeling, or something told me. All of that. All of that is your intuitive guidance, your spirit guidance, or spirit guide. That is just, that's the part of you that is God, that is well able to lead you. That is where all of your answers come from. Often we say that everything that you have need of is inside of you. It's because of that piece. But you often don't recognize that you have what you need because you don't esteem yourself highly. You don't see yourself the way that you should. You don't see yourself as great as you should. And you put all of the onus of greatness on some external God instead of the God that is within. And that really turns out to be extremely damaging because now you don't trust yourself. But if we're going off of what many people present in the scripture and the way of creation, that breath of the creator that was breathed into you is what makes you. It's what makes you so great. Anyway, enough on that. I don't. I'm moving on with a lot of love for the topic because it's super important that you know and understand that and reference yourself in that way. Um, but I don't want to go into the woods on that, or I will be completely away from where I was originally intending to go. And now the spirit will lead in that direction as well. I just don't want to get away from this. But it's connected, but we need to be on this side. Um, just making sure that you're open. Make sure that you are open to being able to hear and have this connection within yourself so that you can take all the guidance that you need for this life. All of that to say, I experienced a lot of communication with spirit because I always want source to give me the utmost guidance on every single thing. If I can avoid stuff and not have to experience certain stuff or get shit, if I can have the upper hand on some stuff, give me all of the answers. The things that nobody else wants to hear, the things that nobody wants to express because they're scared of what other people will think. I don't give a damn about them people. Give it to me. Give it to me. Um, like I love you, but not enough to care what you think about me. um, yeah. Mm-mm. So because of that, it just leaves me in this perpetually open space, and I'm able to hear a lot and see a lot. And often, like I had an experience the other day, which whenever some of this stuff, when I explain to people, on the backside, they have to think that I am nuts, and they have to know that it doesn't really matter, and I don't care, because like a major part of this is me expressing and telling y'all all of this weirdness, so that you know that it's okay to be yourself in all of the ways that is. You can be weird to people. You can be a witch to people. You can be a bitch to people. They always gonna think something. So it doesn't really make a difference whether you live in your truth or not. They're gonna have something to say. So you may as well let them say whatever they're gonna say while you live in your truth. Anyway, um, and low key, they be mad because they can't live in their truth. They won't let themselves live in their truth, so they hate you for it. But that's neither here nor there because this ain't that. Um, yeah. So a lot of signs, a lot of synchronicities on every single thing. So, anyways, um, this morning, like, so for ever since yesterday, I've been kind of trying to guess what the, I don't even want to say guess, but like get a feel for and search in spirit for some answers and guidance on what today would be like in the market, because this market is all over the place. And let's be honest, I always tap in with spirit about the trades that I'm gonna take. It really just, and with everything, it just goes without saying. So, in that way, I'm very much, and this is another reason why I don't get on here trying to teach people about trading for real, because you'll never understand how I trade, and it's not, well, it's a great way to trade. It's a great way to live your life, but you can't just hop in on the trading side and think that that shit gonna work out for you. I am very much an intuitive trader. I have indicators. I do the charting, the technical analysis. Like, I do those things, but 100% under the influence of spirit more often than not. So I'm not gonna tell you no place. I'm not gonna tell you none of that stuff. I let them lead you, unless that changes and I'm instructed to do that. That's just not my. I'd rather do this. I want you to be confident in yourself. That's my that's my thing. Because if you confident in yourself overall, you ain't gonna have no problem with nothing else. Not like that. Not where confidence is concerned. You'll be juiced, psyched, and ready to go, knowing that you can take on the world in all of your strength and glory. That's what I want for you. Um, yeah. But all of that said, I had been searching and wanting answers about what direction, like how am I trading today? And I had felt it already. This is the other thing. Spirit will give you confirmation after confirmation. Like the more you ask and you want to know the answer, there will be an answer. There will be multiple answers. You'll get confirmation so that you know it's real. Contrary to popular belief, you can question God. I use God so lightly because people have such a, it has been tarnished and tainted the way people think of God. Anyway, um, I got off on a tangent again with that. Where was I going? Mm, you can question. You can ask questions. Every question that you have, the source has an answer for, and is quite literally waiting on you to ask. Do you know that often your angels will not be dispatched to come to your aid until you ask? You have to give them permission. Like some things they just keep and protect you, like, but some other things you got to let them know that you're accepting of the help. So ask questions, ask for answers, ask for answers. Ask for answers to any question, all the questions you have. How the hell else? That always baffles me. People are like, oh, don't question God. Where the hell else am I supposed to get these answers from? What kind of make it make sense? What kind of sense that make? Anyway, Yeah. So guidance I got. So I had already felt within intuitively that it was not going to be an up day. Like I didn't feel like it was going to hell in a handbasket and that the bottom was going to fall out the market. I knew that that wasn't going to be the thing. But I also knew that it wasn't going to be up and stuck as far as like making any kind of wild movement up. Felt that yesterday already. And so I'm just like, oh, okay. And so bleed into today. After I looked at my charts yesterday and then I looked at them again this morning to kind of see what was what. And I just wasn't like, I really just didn't have that. It's a call day, like heavy call day for me. Might have been for somebody. And I know people won off of calls today. So I'm at work. I go into the supervisor's office where I'm going to be working. And there are some computer screens at the supervisor's desk. And it's three screens. The supervisor's not there. Generally, like computers do, whenever you leave, they time out. And it doesn't seem like their timer is very lengthy until today. I walk in there and the three screens that they have are all illuminated and they all have pictures of bears. All three. There are two bears. Um, there's a cub, and then there's the full-grown parent bear, parent bear, the full-grown bear. Same picture, all three screens, and I saw it, but it didn't immediately register. One of my coworkers, we're both we right here with it. We talk about all these kind of things, and he often receives a lot of signs, synchronicities, and answers through animals overall. So I didn't readily make the connection, but I was coming to relieve him, and he said, "Look over there." And I look, and it's the screens, and he's like, "Bears." And I said, "Oh shit." I saw them, but I didn't register immediately. But as soon as he pointed me in that direction, I said, "Yes, that's good. That's a real good. Thank you. I appreciate you for pointing me back in that direction." I know that he was there because I needed to be able to connect to what I was seeing. Sometimes we get busy. Even when we, connected and we're trying to search for the answer, but Spirit had me because he knows. He also trades while we both be trading on. We both be trading while we at work. So be looking out. So anyway, that was before the bell. Bell rings, and that thing just go red. It was up yesterday. Had a good little run yesterday. It was red. It dropped. It didn't drop real low, but it dropped back into like the start of yesterday's range. And one of the things that I did notice, if just kind of like right off, is just a pattern. It had wicked up to a certain point and wicked down to a certain point. So I was like, I bet it's gonna train. I know that my attention was drawn to those because I was stuck. I was fixated on them for a second. I was like, I bet, and I'm gonna pay attention to it, that it's gonna range between these two numbers. First, it dropped below that lowest number, and then for the remainder of the day, it came up and it ranged, but on the lower half of that top number. Anyway, so I had already been pointed to that range. That was one sign that it wasn't going any further forward than it had in the days previous to. Um, it was the bears. It was the feeling. I had three confirmations. I was loaded with all of the information that I needed, but I had to be able to trust that information, trust myself to deal well with that information. Because easily he could have pointed it out and I could have just blew it off as nothing. If I hadn't had this conversation that would really kind of present as unusual with him in time past, he would not have known, or he may have kept it to himself and not ever pointed it out to me again, just thinking that it wouldn't have any real significance to me. Yeah, so interesting. Very interesting. I yeah, I like sharing that kind of stuff. I like sharing with y'all all this stuff that people are reluctant to share. There are a lot of people who do share it still, but a lot of people they are reluctant to share it because they haven't accepted it for themselves. They haven't accepted these things as gifts, as something that really makes a lot of difference. Oh, I guess we just talking today because it be some stuff going on. It really be some stuff going on. So the other day, I want to tell y'all this story. Oh, so the other day I made a post. I'm a part of a trading group, and if you know, you know. But you know what? Wall Street Trappers Patreon. That's the group I'm referring to. Triple Beam team. Go on and get into it. Um, but yeah, so I posted a post in there talking about, because sometimes the Patreon is kind of wild acting. The app itself is really kind of wild acting. So, um, excuse me. So, I scrolled up about two good scrolls yesterday, and it had me. Was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before yesterday? And it had me way into last week. And so I had posted about how that had happened, and in so the entirety of the experience was, and this is why sometimes I just need to just be quiet before I be saying stuff. Some stuff I'm silly about. Other stuff I'll be silly and excited about. And other times I really just be excited. So I just be saying some stuff too early sometimes. So or before I like really process the actual message in what's being delivered. So anyway, I say, this thing kind of wild, something like that. I took two good scrolls and it sent me to last week, right? Well, last week on Thursday and Friday, the stock market was running up. And Meta had gotten over 600. And so all of the posts that I could see at that point was saying Meta over 600. On this day, Meta was not reaching 600 yet. It had been struggling all morning to get there. And so I posted, that with the post that I had saw and the way I'd responded to it, which was with a question mark, because I'm like, where did it go above 600? Because it ain't happened. I've been watching it all day. um, Fast forward later into the day, Meta goes up over 600. And so when I see that, it immediately registers that it was a timeline jump and that I was being forewarned that it was going to jump over 600. I want to say it hit 603 that day. I didn't readily process that in the moment. I was too busy laughing about it. So yeah, it was a preview of the thing to come. which is interesting in and of itself. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in synchron. I mean, I do believe in synchronicities. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in random or by chance or happenstance or whatever people be calling stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. I know that everything has a meaning and a purpose, um, and I am just crazy enough to think more about it and into it and ask for guidance on it. Even insects, animals, they all have spiritual meaning. Yeah, so sometimes you are getting like birds, even like, yeah, sometimes you get messages you don't even know, you don't even recognize the messages that you're getting. Spirit is literally trying to get messages through you through all sorts of things, and you don't recognize it because you haven't opened yourself up to it. Spirit says that the more you're open to, the more you see. The more you look for, the more you see. So if you, and this is what that means, if you are accepting of the gift, if you are accepting of whatever way it wants to come through, and you take, you're ready, willing, and able to take the message as it's presented and process it, ask more questions about it, ask the meaning behind it, um, you'll get it so much more often than you ever would have noticed before. Numbers, numerology. I always say, astrology. Oh, because I forgot. Today's moon phase is the waxing gibbous moon. We're still in the waxing gibbous moon. Um, I want to say the illumination was 91%, and it is in Libra. Libra. So yeah, check in on that Monday. I believe it's Monday. We have a full moon. So that should be interesting. I don't know about y'all, but so a thing to know about the moon is that depending on how it's presenting, it can affect you in certain ways, which is another aspect of messaging that I was just previously talking about. You're receiving messages from the moon and its current locale, sign wise. Imagine it. So sometimes, like during a full moon or during a retrograde, you'll feel a certain kind of way. You aren't really consciously seeking out answers to all things or curious about all things, so you can easily pass it by. But when you become more curious about all the things, you start getting signs and you start getting synchronicities and you start getting answers for all the things. So be prepared for that. It's not a really ain't like it ain't nothing to it. Spirit just give you what you're asking for. Oh, that's the other thing. Like all of this stuff causes us to live a like super super dope and what people in their regularness call magic. It becomes the norm for you. It's not like, and I don't want to say it's become the norm. Like living the lives that we live, like that we live in mediocrity, that's the shit that's not normal. Like things that people would consider miracles and magic, all of that stuff is like the real stuff. Magic is supposed to be the norm for you because you're a creator. You were put here to create. And it's not like hocus pocus. While there are spells that are effective and that sort of thing, that's not what I'm talking about necessarily. Your life should be magic. It should be great. You should be expecting things that people call miracles on an everyday basis. One of the things that I say really often, almost daily, I try to make sure that I say it daily, but I always ask Spirit, how can you surprise and delight me today? How good, how great can today be? Show me. And I go on by my day just like that. And then there'll be some really dope shit happen. You also begin to take pleasure in some of the smaller things, things that most would consider meaningless. You begin to be more grateful for, which the more you're grateful for, the more spirit give you to be grateful for. Never forget that. Always be grateful. Always, always, always show gratitude, because all it does is beget more gratitude. And listen, I don't know about you. I don't ever want to stop having things to be grateful for. Listen, don't take nothing. Only add. Listen. I want to see more. I want to do more. I want to have, all the things. I can see the greatness in all the things. I want to see the greatness in all the things. Um. Anyway, I didn't got on here and just was start talking to y'all about a number of different things. Hopefully, something helps you in this video. I'm not gonna pull any cards. I think it was a pretty simple and straightforward message today about being open to signs and synchronicities and messages overall that spirit wants to get through to you. Also, um, spirit has said this a number of times. I just don't think that I've gotten it while actually recording. Oh shit, I lost it. Spirit, give it back to me. Uh, I lost it. Or at least, I don't want to say I lost it, I misplaced it. Spirit will bring it back to mind. But yeah, just be curious about things. When you see certain things, just actually consider them for the meaning in them, and even ask spirit, like, what's the meaning behind this? Is this a message for me? And you'll get your answer. Sometimes I'm on here talking because you've asked for something. You in spirit is giving you a message, or you feel a message. And not even sometimes. That's the only reason I'm on here, telling y'all all my quirks and all my business. Because you have to know that the things that you experience, they're okay. It's okay to accept those. It's okay to be different. It came from somewhere. It's valuable, useful, helpful, necessary, even like all of it. You have to know that. It's important for you to know that. So that is why I'm here sharing with you all of these different things, so that you know that, and you can be okay with that. You can accept it. Oh spirit, I lost it again, and it might not been. I might just have to record a whole nother video on it. I was saying that I just got on here talking to you. Pretty sure that this will resonate with whoever it's for. It's a fairly long video too. Um, that other part is lost on me. Mm. Well, Perhaps in another video it'll come up and stay. It was a fleeting, a fleeting thought. I thought I was really gonna be able to see it this time too. It'll come up when it's supposed to. Anyway, be great. Love yourself. Love yourself down, okay? With the utmost joy and zeal. I need y'all get excited about yourself. Get excited about your life. If it's not all that exciting, you can always change it. Change it. Just do the things to make this thing so much more enjoyable. You have one experience that you need to be concerned with at this point, and that's just making it the most fulfilling. I was gonna say, which gets us completely into the weeds on some other topics that are for other videos. I was gonna say you got one life. You really don't. Anyway, I'll just enjoy this. Just enjoy this life. Enjoy it. You might can tell at this point I'm tired, and it's time to go to bed. Hence the yawning and the sleepy look. And yes, yes. Be the love of your own life, the light of your own life, the twinkle in your own eye, the apple. Okay, okay, okay. All right, that's it for today. Love and light, and hopefully y'all had a good time listening to the guided messages and antics on this day. I am both things, spirit and man. While the largest component is spirit, I will do that flesh side thing too. But also, that's spirit guided as well. Anyway, love and light. Till next time. Bye bye.